left your Independence Day festivities to bring you a good one in the USL Championship. It's the resurgent Riverhounds welcoming first place New Mexico United into Highmark Stadium. Happy to have you with us on CBS Sports Golazo Network alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Ricky, this is a Pittsburgh team that is starting to click. Maybe not fully in the attack, but they're starting to pick up results.
Probably needs to be really proud of what he's seen from his side in terms of their approach to this game. Defensively, they've been a lot more compact and really difficult to break down. And on the ball, they're taking their chances. They're creating better opportunities and a lot more confident. But yet, he still wants them to be a little bit more consistent in the final third.
The big thing to remember here is they've always been a second half team under Bob Lilley. 4 of the last 5 seasons, they've earned more points in the second half than the first half of the season. This is what it looked like last year, night and day. 33 points in the second half, just 15 points in the first half. It's right around that time again. They're starting to hit that stride again. It's just a matter of time, it always feels like, before things click for Bob Lilley's groups, and Augie Williams is the next domino to fall. If he can start scoring a bit more, as we know he has in the past, this team will fully take off.
Augie Williams is going to be crucial to the second half of the season for the Riverhounds because he's shown that he's a complete number 9 in USL Championship, the ability to stretch and run in behind, and when he does get in front of goal, he can score every single type of goal in the book. He will start here tonight, so getting him the ball and service into Augie Williams will be crucial for the success of the Riverhounds.
On the other side for New Mexico, you and I racked our brains trying to find one thing to focus on, but here's the thing, they pretty much do everything well. There really isn't a weakness.
This New Mexico United side can score every single type of goal, whether it is through combination play, whether it is through individual brilliance, but also shooting from distance. Dennis Sanchez has instilled a confidence and a true identity for New Mexico, and that is why they're at the top of the Western Conference.
And a lot of it falls through to Luis Fernando, who leads the way for the group here this season. 4 goals. It still feels like he has more left in the tank as well.
Luis Fernando is a complete player in this league because he has the ability to do a little bit of everything, whether it is dropping deep and being part of the build-out phase, but he can also run in behind and be really clever within his movement. Look for Fernando to combine with Rivas, Vargas, and Akali underneath him.
It should be a great environment here today at Highmark Stadium, as it typically is, but especially today. This used to be a traditional game every 4th of July. It went away for a few years. It's back again. Ammo's ready. We're ready. It's the Riverhounds at New Mexico next on Golazo Network.
Looking amazing.
At AHN, we see you trying to be your absolute best. And when it feels like you lost your best along the way.
Okay.
We see you taking control.
Looks good. Prescription. It says here.
And needing the quickest care possible.
Let's go.
At AHN, we see you.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Let's meet the starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Cohen Markets, beginning with Bob Lilly's side.
Walty and Griffin will be everything for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side. The ability to dictate tempo and slow the game down, but also defensively look for them to drop in front of that back three. Those two are going to give this Bob Lilly side a foundation and confidence going forward, with Luke Bialsi and Barnes providing the width and working up and down on their wide parts of the field.
On the other side for Dennis Sanchez, there are some tough decisions to make week in, week out, but he continues to really ride the hot hands.
For Dennis Sanchez, the fluidity and the freedom that he instills with that front four, Vargas will be the player that wants to get in between lines, and Akali will play on the right-hand side, but left footer, so look for him to come century to combine with Fernando, and then you have Rivas to work up and down and really stretch this back line of the Riverhounds.
These teams are ready to get things going here. Pittsburgh in their whites at home, trying to continue what have been their winning ways, both in regular season play and in the Jägermeister Cup. Bob Lilly has spoken a lot about momentum and building into this middle third of the season as they see it now. 6 of 7 games in this stretch, all at home here at Highmark Stadium. It's the other side of what was a difficult start to the season, where they played 7 of their first 10 on the road. So you always know you're going to have the flip side of that, and you have to make those home games count when you can. New Mexico cross-country trip here out to Pittsburgh. Dennis Sanchez doesn't want his team to change anything. Sometimes teams will have a road trip like that. They'll come in, they'll sit back. He wants to be the protagonist. He wants his team to play the same way it would at the Lab in Albuquerque. Speaking of Albuquerque, Rodrigo Albuquerque, your referee on the whistle today, wearing the red.
That is amazing.
I did a double take when I first saw the official release of who the referee was on this game. I'm sure it's happened at some point. Maybe it hasn't, but yes, Rodrigo Albuquerque on a New Mexico United match. We just have to have it happen at the Lab in Albuquerque at some point to really have that come full circle. You know, you and I were on a Pittsburgh game last week, and it turned into Geography Hour. I didn't know that it would become that again here before kick even happened, but I suppose here we are. Happy 4th, everybody. Augie Williams having a chat with the referee before we get things going. They're just waiting on New Mexico. Pittsburgh's been itching to go here. They're just waiting for New Mexico to take formation, and they finally are now. A couple of matches tonight throughout USL Championship ahead of a busy weekend. We get things going on this Friday night on Independence Day. It's Pittsburgh in the white from left to right, New Mexico in the camo from right to left. And away we go at Highmark Stadium. Happy to have you with us on CBS Sports Golazo Network with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa, and just what we needed, a false start. Let's try this again. There we go, underway finally in Pittsburgh. This is starting to become a norm in what is a copycat sport. You just kick the kickoff down out for a throw-in. Most notably, PSG did it in the Champions League final against Inter Milan. It's something that I suppose is helpful if you're a pressing team and you want to destabilize a back line, but then you have to get up there and lock in the throw-in, and Pittsburgh easily got it out of there. So wasted by New Mexico, and now we settle into the play.
The last couple of games, I think I've seen that twice, and I have the same reaction. I just scratch my head and say, I understand the idea behind it, but the efficiency in which New Mexico just tried to do it just wasn't the best there.
And they're a team who value possession. They lead the league in possession. They come into this game having won the possession battle in every game they've played. So not like them to just give the ball away, but a long one here from Zalalem looking for Luis Fernando and cleared away by Eric Dick. Let's take a look at building a win presented by 84 Lumber. Keys to the game, Ricky.
For this Pittsburgh side, actions in transition, if you have the ability to recover the ball, your first look needs to be forward and try to play in between lines and be as vertical as you possibly can. And for New Mexico, when you're playing against Pittsburgh, they play with wing backs. So how do you use their positioning and the wide parts of the field to your advantage? Expect Dennis Sanchez to drop his outside backs to pull him out, and that's when you need movement off of the ball.
It's interesting you mentioned Dennis Sanchez dropping the outside backs. He noted in his scout of Pittsburgh that for a team that uses wing backs, as the Riverhounds do, they keep them low. It's Fernando battling here and has to come off his chest in behind. Good battle. And with Perrin Barnes out for a corner. They typically keep their wingbacks very low, Pittsburgh, so that's an interesting one to watch as the day goes along.
Through this back three of the Riverhounds, if they do get caught a little bit higher, now you need help in terms of your defensive effort. Pierre Barnes doing just enough as Vactor comes across and denies Fernando good goal-scoring opportunity.
Cohen Markets corner kick. In swinger near post, headed clear. Mertz waiting for it. Mexico keeps it alive. Not where it initially started. To Molen Vargas. Zico Bailey, back from national team duty. Bailey was away with the Philippines. Started their Asian Cup qualifier in June. It's been a quiet few weeks for New Mexico in terms of regular season play. They've had Jägermeister Cup mixed in. They had a friendly against Juarez. Liga MX mixed in there as well. This is only their 4th regular season game since the 24th of May. Here is Bailey snaking his way through and cleared. And Dennis Sanchez talked about that and keeping guys focused, where every week you're almost not really sure if you were in a week off, if you were in a week where you had a friendly, if you were in a week where you had Jägermeister Cup. It's just a matter of keeping everybody on task to keep the momentum going for a team that's been in first and been flying high.
You and I have the ability to speak with a lot of USL Championship coaches, and Dennis Sanchez is at the top, or one of the best at just pressing all the right buttons and getting a reaction out of his side. Very relatable. So the managing part of being a coach comes into play, continuing to get your players ready when they walk on the field.
I see a couple of players still. They're hoping to get back in the near future. New Mexico, vital to what they do. But in the meantime, in those absences, they've continued to just plug away, win games. Entering today in first place in the Western Conference, 2 points clear of El Paso Locomotive. If you look at the live table now, they sit 3 ahead of El Paso. This was their game in hand on El Paso today, so a chance to widen that gap. Nice bit of acrobatic play from Luke Biasi to prevent conceding a corner. One back though by New Mexico. Floated in toward Luis Fernando and out for a goal kick.
Seeing these types of movements for Dennis Sanchez as we take a look at the head coach for New Mexico. First season for him after leading Vegas to the 2024 conference final last season. But we've seen the movement, the freedom for Akala. We've seen Rivas, we've seen Fernando make those runs from inside out. So communication within the back line for Pittsburgh Riverhound is going to be really important.
Eric Dick starting in goal once again for the Riverhounds. He started every single game this regular season. They've rotated to their backup keeper Randolph in cup competitions, but Eric Dick has been there every step of the way. Reigning Golden Glove winner in the USL Championship. At a .69 goals against average last year. It's down at .92 so far this year. Tamakis playing out of the back, the goalkeeper on the other end for New Mexico. Has a chance for a couple of milestones today. Come back to that momentarily. New Mexico once again on the prowl here, looking through for Akale. And out for a throw. Bob Lilly wants his team to be tight defensively, especially against this New Mexico side. As you've alluded to, Ricky, they can break you down in so many different ways. So this is a task. And he said it's a measuring stick game for them in this one. They had one of those a little while back against Louisville, a 0-0 draw against arguably the top team in the league this season. He said, yeah, maybe they were a little bit flat that day. Chance brewing again here for New Mexico. Out for another corner. And while Louisville might have been a bit flat that day, it's still the top team in the league. They still look good, but they haven't had one of those tests in a little while now, Pittsburgh. So they'll learn something about themselves today going into this very important stretch. Second Cohen Markets corner for New Mexico. Akale will take it from the far side, in swinger with the left foot. Akale, good ball in. Dick has it covered.
A different type of challenge. You mentioned that Lou City game for the Riverhounds. Lou City, a more transitional team, a pressing team that's very high energetic. And this New Mexico side, yes, they do have similar characteristics, but they want to get on the ball a little bit more. They want to dictate that possession to be the team that connects more passes going forward. Talk about the ideas that Dennis Sanchez creates. Good touch here.
They build from this now, Pittsburgh. This is where things have broken down for them at times. Not generating enough chances. Luke Biasi. Jackson Walty drops it back. Edrach in for Augie Williams. Bad ball, Williams tracking it still. Handed away by Alan Maples. Jalen Lindsay made the initial defensive play.
That's a glimpse of how comfortable Edrash is with the ball at his feet. Lets the play develop. Augie Williams makes a really clever run, just pulling off the shoulder of Talon Maples in the end.
Miscommunication there on the back line between Seymour and Tabakis. The reason being the offside flag was up. Seymour's back was turned, he never saw it. And back to Tabakis for a moment. It's a milestone that he can reach today, 2 of them. He could be the first goalkeeper in league history to 650 saves. He's already got the most in league history, but he could also tie the shutout record if he gets it today. 1 off the pace with 57 career shutouts. Evan Newton leads the way at 58. So it could be a double milestone today for Alex Tabakis, depending on how things go.
Just watch how New Mexico starts to build out, especially once they
Vargas looking to slip it through.
are seeing a lot of that, and what that's going to do is going to give more options, more numbers, and essential locations, which eventually will allow Colin Vargas to be more aggressive, getting on the ball right now in those half pockets underneath Akale and Fernando.
Salalem. Combination play in the midfield for New Mexico. They're starting to gain a lot more comfort. That trio is Salalem, Jabang, and Vargas. That triangle in the midfield. Jabang and Salalem at the base of it. Vargas operating in the 10. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Clean slate on the Riverhounds side. Good to see at this point of the season. Greg Hurst, the only official injury for New Mexico. Dayon Harris is in that conversation as well. He hasn't appeared yet this season on the men from an injury from last season. Greg Hurst, the only one missing with an injury from this season. Augie Williams latches on. Tabaki's out to meet him and makes the save. He was waiting for a flag that never came. Tabaki still arguing with the assistant referee, but you have to just play that one. You can't just wait for the flag. He makes the save still. That could have been disastrous though for New Mexico.
Look more towards Augie Williams, really casual the way that he lets this ball bounce, not once but twice. Just very pedestrian-like, and waiting for that whistle like you just mentioned. Joe, you need to put this ball into the back of the net, and then you start to ask questions and look towards the sideline. Really unorthodox play on both sides of the ball.
I'm with you where if you're Augie, you play to the whistle. You know this is a striker yourself. You just do what you have to do until you're told you're not able to do it. But especially as a goalkeeper, in that case, Tabakis is looking directly at where the assistant referee is. He could see the flag's not coming up. There's no VAR here, so if it's not going to... You could almost give Williams the benefit of the doubt because the assistant referee is behind him out of his line of sight, even though he still should play that through. But Tabakis is looking right at where the referee is. You see the flag's not coming up. In any event, 10 minutes in, still scoreless here in Pittsburgh. New Mexico very much the aggressors early on. As expected, almost 80% of the possession going their way. The number for them is right around 75% each game. Although interestingly enough, Dennis Sanchez in our conversation said they're starting to get away from just possession for possession's sake. Their last couple of games against San Antonio and Colorado Springs, he pointed to as 2 examples where their expected goals tally and the chances created were 2 of their higher marks of the season, and their total passes marks were 2 of the lower marks of the season. So they're starting to see that positive opposite correlation between total passes and expected goals where they're just doing more. It's more purposeful possession than just empty calorie possession.
Efficiency for New Mexico, that is going to be the name of the game because there is no question about it that they can pass the ball with the best of them in USL Championship. But now when you do pass the ball, you need to be able to penetrate and be a little bit more threatening. Chance creation, never a question for this New Mexico side. It's having the clinical ability to stick the ball into the back of the net. 21 goals on the season thus far. Dennis Sanchez, knowing how he is as a manager, is going to want that number to be higher.
What can Pittsburgh do with what will be limited possession in this game? They certainly have the pieces to dictate play in their own right for spells. Haven't seen it yet. Need more of Danny Griffin and Robbie Mertz on the ball if that's going to happen today. Here is Griffin. Nice turn to the end line for Danny Griffin. And he earned a corner out of this at least. Lays it back instead for Biasi. Ball driven in toward that back post, through everything.
Those runs out of midfield for Bob Lilly need to see more on a consistent basis because they are just so hard to track and can really unbalance your opponent. So if you are Danny Griffin, if you can take off and bypass whether it is Augie Williams or all, now you really test the shape of New Mexico, because Robbie Mertz and Jackson Malty have a very, very good feel in terms of their positioning to supply some support.
It is 85 degrees. There is not a cloud in the sky. The view of the city is as good as it gets on the 4th of July. Firework night here at Highmark. The only way it gets better than this for Bob Lilly and the fans, again, is with the victory to celebrate when all is said and done. But it's good to see this game. I alluded to it at the top of the broadcast. This was a tradition for the Riverhounds from 2013 to 2019. They made it an annual home game for the fireworks over the city skyline here on the 4th of July. Had a pretty good record in that stretch as well when they were playing it as an annual fixture. Try from distance here, deflected. Ends up wide. The referee will say goal kick actually here. No deflection.
Talk about the freedom within the front three for the Riverhounds. All just comes a little bit more centrally. A little bit of a stutter step right before he approaches the ball, gets his body angle all wrong, and pulls it wide.
Riverhounds were 4-2-1 at home in that stretch when this was an annual game on the 4th of July. Various reasons, COVID, schedule differences, made it go away. Here's Augie Williams. Worked back, Perrin Barnes. Floated in, Charles All. Combination down the right side starting to become more prevalent between those two. The header flicked on here, saved by Tavakis, but we're starting to see more of a relationship build between Barnes and All down this right side.
And it's the second time that Augie Williams has had the ability just to spin and run it behind Talon Maples far too easily. But again, as this ball bounces, you need to pull a trigger if you are Augie Williams. Just be a little bit more ruthless in around the 18-yard box.
Second start of the season for Charles All down this right side. Aaron Barnes has made 9 consecutive regular season starts down this right wing position for the Riverhounds. That's the other aspect for Bob Lilly with what is typically a decent amount of roster turnover year over year. It's a lot of figuring out who you trust, who fits in where, what the chemistry looks like between a couple of the players here and there. Different things go into it. It's why, typically, as we showed you earlier, they have a lot more success in the second half of the season than the first. Feels like they've been turning that corner. Opportunity today in what he called a measuring stick game to prove that. In what is a very important stretch of play. 6 out of 7 games at home. Coaches want to always pull back the curtain as far as what they're looking at, maybe a point target or something of the sort in a stretch of games, but Bob Lilly very candid. He said they're looking at this middle third of the season as an opportunity to get up to 3rd or 4th. So they're avoiding that dogfight, looking over the top here. It's no trouble for Eric Dick, but they want to be in that 3rd or 4th position because he feels from 5th to 12th in the final stretch of the season is going to be an absolute brawl at the playoff line. He wants to be focused instead being in 3rd or 4th and hosting a playoff game or even having the sights set higher on the Louisvilles and Charlestons of the world. So he's not shying away from the fact that these next 7 games, 6 of them at home, in front of this crowd, are of the utmost importance so they can start widening that gap on some of the teams that are struggling in that mix. Some of the teams around them have been pointing down, like Detroit City. They've been really struggling. They play tomorrow on the road against Oakland. Pittsburgh have been ascending. They feel this is the moment to make that move.
Especially when playing at Highmark, kind of the 5 games that they've had in 2025, 4 wins, 1 loss. We've seen this season, and historically, the Riverhounds are extremely hard to beat when they are playing in front of their home faithful. One thing that Bob Lilly does know is what numbers and what targets they need to get into the playoffs. And you and him always have conversations regarding that. It's fascinating to see how he thinks about the table and just, I don't want to say predicting, but just understanding the trends in USL Championship.
Especially this year where it's a little bit different, back to a 30-game season. They chopped it up into 3/3, first 10 games, next 10, and final 10. Those first 10 games, they had 7 on the road, playing against a lot of good teams. They struggle. First Cohen Markets corner kick of the evening for the Riverhounds. Mertz will trigger. Mertz, swinger near post, and he'll do it again. No chances being taken there defensively. Maples, Seymour all around it. Just wanted to get it out of harm's way, and they did. Hit Cohen Markets corner. Robbie Mertz, good delivery again, same area almost. Now ends up as a goal kick.
Fantastic delivery from Robbie Mertz. Enough pace, enough venom just to bypass that initial line of pressure. As Subert does a good job to getting goal side, you just need to try to help it on. You always expect quality when this man is over the ball.
Pressure on here for Pittsburgh. Trying to lock New Mexico in out of the goal kick. Nice switch, better touch. That's how you play out of that pressure if you're New Mexico. Not quite out of the woods yet, but it will help them out a great deal. Dangerous pass back. Augie Williams deflected. Tabakis thanking Talon Maples. Williams maybe should have done better.
Right idea here from Jibang just to play this ball into Vargas. Possibly can't deny Augie Williams, who again wasn't clean enough in terms of his contact with that ball.
Pressure building though now for Pittsburgh. Third Cohen Markets corner over the last couple of minutes. Mertz, another good delivery, flicked out off the post, and now cleared off the defender. Still loose for Griffin into the supporters. Pittsburgh more than knocking on the door at this point. Very lucky for New Mexico.
That near post area is something that Bob Lilly elected to continue to put the ball in. It's all about Vactor doing a good job at beating his marker to that spot, doing everything right. This goalkeeper beat just gets denied by that near post. And really difficult for Danny Griffin just to get his leg high enough to swipe down on the ball. But the Pittsburgh Riverhounds starting to grow and start to find some success higher up the field.
Walty did well on what was a hospital ball, difficult one to deal with. Luis Fernando sent on a long run over the top. He's barreled over by Edrach. Free kick on the way for New Mexico.
And that's a risky run if you are the Riverhounds, yes. As you're starting to grow into this game and get momentum and be expansive on the ball, going back the other way, you can leave yourself vulnerable. You and I continue to talk about how good New Mexico is, that they can beat you in numerous of different ways, whether it is playing through the press or just bypassing it and playing direct with the willing runs of Fernando.
Luis Fernando, last couple of years spent with Memphis. Has an 8-goal season to his name. That was 2 seasons ago, his best year for Memphis. Halfway to that mark this season. Through 11 starts so far with 4 goals. Has to be better. Robbie Mertz to a difficult position here. Ball stayed in the whole time, still in. Now to Augie Williams. Aaron Barnes. Nice 1-2 with Charles Hall. Barnes centering. Williams left it. Thought a runner was there behind him. Nobody following. Free kick on the way for New Mexico. The USL and CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the championship in the Eastern Conference. It's last year's final runner-up, Rhode Island against Northeast rival Hartford Athletic. That's Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS, and what they are calling El Clamico.
Love it.
I'm into it. Anytime you could give me a niche geographical reference.
You and geography. Incredible.
Do you remember our little quiz last week? Do you remember what the river in the background there called?
I remember what it is. I don't know how to say it.
Fair enough. Monongahela.
One day I'll get it.
At some point. If you do enough of these games,
Need
maybe
a pronunciation guide for it.
Walty works it back. He
Really
drags.
good ball here.
And it is brought down as well by Luke Biasi. Seemed like it was just beyond his reach, but he tracks it down. Now delivering. Williams! It's just wide. That would have been one for the highlight reel for Bob Lilly. The ball from the center back, the feed from out wide, everything but the finish for Williams.
Fantastic ball in from Luke Biasi. Knows exactly what he's doing, head up, and just puts it on a platter for Augie Williams. And Augie Williams really clever, playing in between both center backs, but unable to make contact with the ball.
Quickly the other way for New Mexico. Luis Fernando feeds it in behind, a stumble from Sergio Rivas. Zalalem works it all the way back for Tabakis. Officially credited so far with 2 saves on the day. On a day where he's 5 saves away, coming in from 650, the first of that plateau in league history. Picked up by Zico Bailey. Sergio Rivas tries from distance. Rivas, not much on it. Stay proud and sporty with Riverhounds gear, whether you're hitting the game or going out. Show your team spirit with exclusive merchandise. Find all your favorites at the merch booth or shop online at riverhounds.com. Second game of the day here at Highmark Stadium. Pittsburgh Riveters earlier in USLW League playoffs. Look out here. Augie Williams, the bench of New Mexico, wants a card shown here. It's a final warning for Augie Williams. It looked like he got an elbow up around the face. I don't know that there was any ill will behind it, but the bench is not going to take kindly to it nonetheless.
Has to be walking a very thin line for the remainder of this game. Augie Williams, it's a hard challenge. Not even looking at the ball. Should be a yellow card. Rodrigo Albuquerque needs to pull out yellow to show to the striker for the Riverhounds. That's exactly why the bench of New Mexico, yeah, right there.
I think it's only yellow because he went with the shoulder, but that was clear contact to the head. You could make a case that that would have been red. He did not play the ball at all. Very least yellow.
Not even looking at the ball as the ball's coming in. Clear intent to try to take out the player. Very lucky not to see a booking.
In the world of VAR were applicable here, he'd be worried for a couple of minutes there until there was a thumbs up or a motion to the monitor. Carry on. There'll be a very close eye on Augie Williams from this point on. Turned over again in the middle portion of the field by New Mexico. Sloppy at times in their possession. Williams out wide. All blocked. And out for another corner.
I want to go back to this Augie Williams opportunity. Right side of your screen. Notice his timing in this run is perfection. Plays in between both center backs, but as this ball comes in, that's when he changes his space. But you just need to run through this. As he tries to jump and extend himself, that's what throws him off balance, unable to make clean contact. If you just continue your run and let the ball hit you, more times often than not, it's going to end up in the back of the net.
He's had some opportunities today, but still looking for that goal to fall. Another Cohen Markets corner. Mertz right at Tabakis. 32-year-old goalkeeper from Athens. Stalwart in this league for a long time. And now 3 saves away from becoming the first to 650. Already has the league record. If he holds a clean sheet today, he'll tie the record at 58 with Evan Newton.
All 11 players right now for the Riverhounds behind the ball. making life very difficult. So these types of movements need to be more influential for New Mexico, whether it is Vargas or Fernandez. Just pulling out one of the 3 center backs and opening up a space for a secondary type of movement will be your best bet to unlock this Riverhounds back line.
Space now for Rivas in the
Good run.
pocket, feeds it through. Great ball, Akale racing toward it. Eric Dick comes out and has it once again.
Just a little heavy here for Rivas because it's a fantastic run from Akale as Vargas is playing centrally. He occupies, he puts up.
To the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Fans win a piece of history this 4th of July. The Riverhounds are auctioning off a team-signed 2025 home jersey, which ends on Sunday.
Riverhounds
July
fans,
6th.
join us for the next home game, Sunday, July 13th against Loudoun United. It is Robbie Mertz bobblehead night, presented by Tri-State Office Furniture. Get your tickets at riverhounds.com. Williams brings it down, ushered away. Bennett in front, but nobody there, and easy for Tabakis. He's been a pest through 30 minutes, Augie Williams. Again, nothing to show for it on the score sheet, but he's been very active.
Always is. Augie Williams just so opportunistic in nature. The willingness to run down every loose ball, winning his individual duels 50-50, just a nightmare. And relentless with his work rate. Can you match that work rate within his production? Because the talent is always there. The talent, the physical attributes, you can see how physically gifted he is, the ability to run.
Plus goals for Augie Williams. The only exception to that rule, he had 6 goals in 12 games. So if he had a full season, you math it out, he would have had double figures in 5 straight. Only had 2 this year, has more than half the season to go. And with what we've seen from him in the past, once he gets going, he usually doesn't stop. So just a matter of getting him going at that level for Pittsburgh. Bob Lilly also mentioned in our conversation, you can look at that the other way as well. High bouncing ball here. Mertz gaining position. Jabang battling back. Brings down Mertz, but cleanly won. Back to Bob Lilly. He actually says, you know what? We played a bunch of Open Cup games, Jägermeister Cup games, preseason games. So he actually thinks they're past the halfway point. They've played 25 total games with 17 remaining. So he's starting to get a little worried as he had a chuckle in the conversation with us. He wants this group to start really pressing down on the pedal now. That includes Augie Williams. Half an hour gone here at Highmark Stadium. Glad to have you with us here this evening alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa here on the CBS Sports Golasso Network. First place, New Mexico United. Long road trip here to Pittsburgh, who have been surging in the East in the midst of what might be their most important schedule stretch of the season. 6 out of 7 at home. Well, they're starting to get their legs under them, starting to find these results. Need to go on a bit of a run here in the eyes of Bob Lilly. Well won by Charles All. Looking long for Augie Williams. Tabakis all the way out to gather.
Just so comfortable in possession, this New Mexico side. Every single one of the players in the starting 11 comfortable with the ball at their feet, the ability to bypass the line, whether it is with running with the ball, but also ability to just connect like a lot of passes.
Augie Williams offside. 8 shots already for the Riverhounds, only 2 of those on target.
Off a soccer field day at Highmark Stadium. All hats will be 30% off until the 40th minute. Make sure to head over to the store now and take advantage of the special flash sale.
A big possession
while it
advantage
lasts.
for New Mexico, as is typical. League leaders in that category. Won the possession battle in every game they've played so far. I think it's pretty safe to say they'll win it again.
Fans, be sure to try our new July specialty meals. At the train, you can try the new summer sizzling
Lilly always
pineapple
tinkering.
burger and footlong chili dog. And over at
Anything
Nacho
you changed so
Junction,
far from these
try
first
the
30 minutes for this
Crispy
Pittsburgh
nachos
Riverhounds side?
that are all the
I think he needs to be pleased. I think Bablu needs to be pleased, especially defensively. Very tight, very compact. The only thing is you need to get that relationship between Robbie Mertz, and Williams on the same page. Too many times it's been almost a lofted ball into Augie Williams and him just on an island trying to go by himself. And I had the ability to call their game against Westchester, and they had some really good football, the ability to have their third man runs, combination play. We haven't seen enough of that for Bob Lilly, because that is when the Riverhounds are at their best, when the ball's quick, when they're decisive, and they have movement off of it. Also give credit to New Mexico as well. They've been equally as well defensively, not allowing the Riverhounds to get any sort of rhythm because they've just been dominant in terms of the possession.
Carried ahead by Luke Biasi. Robbie Mertz will get there in time. Mertz end line, options, streaming into the box. Is it back for Biasi? They were not on the same page there. Mertz now delivering. Williams, Jabang clears. Tabaki seemed to have it. Jabang not taking any chances. Looked like Biasi was expecting that ball out in front to recover after it was behind him, and it sort of threw everything off rhythm. Here's Walty.
Good ball.
Slips it through. Griffin, I thought he was going to take the shot there. Had it set up, had a glance at Tabaki's. Fed it out wide instead. Well won by Akale. Akale.
It's a right ball from Akale, but Vargas needs to slash it behind Suber and just make life a little bit more unpredictable as he continues to peel off. That just plays into the hands for the Riverhounds because they can get that second and the third defender just to provide a little bit more of coverage going back the other way.
You can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches available throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Fit in behind, end line, all tapped away by Tabakis. Griffin. Jackson Walty has a touch. Walty. All delivering. Williams holding it up. Good defensive play. Jabang tracking back. He almost acts as an extra center back when he drops it. And now free kick in a very good area for the Riverhounds. Rivas pleading his case, but the damage already done.
Just no need here for Rivas to try to go for the acrobatic clearance here. Just go with your head. As Robbie Mertz at the last second comes across really cleverly from the experienced player for the Riverhounds, goes down and wins a dangerous set piece for his side.
Felt like Pittsburgh have been the more dangerous of the two sides in this first half, even though the numbers show the control New Mexico has enjoyed. The reason being Pittsburgh just efficient whenever they've had the ball. Almost every moment they've had has turned into something, at least a half chance. Mertz and Griffin both standing over this. Sun directly in the eyes of Alex Tabakis. Floated in toward that back post, headed across in front! Off the post again! Second time in this half that Pittsburgh have hit the woodwork. Brilliantly worked free kick from an area where it seemed like Mertz would just have a go at goal himself. Attack still on. Laid off at Suber. Sean Suber! Took a deflection, out for another corner now.
Fantastic execution here for the Riverhounds on this set piece. This ball's lofted from Robbie Mertz, just asking Suber, and he does everything right here. There's no angle, so you need to put it back across into a more dangerous zone. Hector does everything good, unable to beat the goalkeeper, has him caught flat-footed and unable to sneak into that far post.
Now all from the corner. Cohen Markets corner kick on by the wayside for Pittsburgh. I'll correct you there. I think he had the goalkeeper beat. It's just unfortunate that it goes off the post. Tabakis was dead to rights.
Clever. Impacted the way that he just opens up his hips and goes the opposite angle. Wrong foots the goalkeeper. This nearly gets the Riverhounds on the score sheet yet again, denied by the post.
Back to the conversation before that free kick for Pittsburgh. In very limited possession, 33% of it. They've had 26 entries in the final third. New Mexico have only had 20, with more than double the possession. And touches in the opposing 18-yard box. Pittsburgh have turned 26 of their final third entries into 20 moments in the box. Of the 20 moments in the final third for New Mexico, only 4 in the box. And I throw all that at you because that was an issue that Dennis Sanchez wanted corrected. A lot of empty calorie possession today for New Mexico as the flag comes up here, where, yes, they're stringing together passes, they're dominating possession, but they're not doing a lot with it as they've had their little dips in form this year, which have been few and far between for a team that's sitting in first place. I should say, as they've had some results that they felt should have gone their way, and he wants to turn draws into wins and losses into draws. Part of that is manufacturing more opportunities and not just possessing. They've been falling back into that trap so far today.
And for New Mexico, especially in this type of game, in this environment, against this Riverhound side, they have found the most success when they actually draw out the Riverhounds and bait them to step in. That's exactly why you see at the bottom right of your screen, Dennis Sanchez baiting his side to drop it. Watch out.
Look out. I think that's what Shebang was trying to do in the first place. Go center back to center back there, and Tabaki's just got in the way of it.
But as they start to build out inside their 18-yard box, what that's doing, that is just asking the Riverhounds to be more aggressive. And when they are really aggressive, the Riverhounds are, New Mexico is just so good.
Try from midfield here, looking to beat Dick, but it's wide.
New Mexico is just so good that they can beat you in between lines through combination play. That's what we saw Fernando moments ago. He just mistimed his run. But if you can pull out Super Vector or Ibarish off of their line, now that allows a secondary or third run for New Mexico. But once the Riverhounds get into their defensive set, they're just so hard to break down. They've only conceded 12 times this season.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Augie Williams battling. It's a battle won by Talon Maples. Looks like there's a bit of a stray for New Mexico from what he dropped in as a center back. Will Seymour has taken up the position at left back, and they've pushed Zico Bailey further up the field into a more advanced position. So an interesting tweak as this half has gone on from Dennis Sanchez. Trying to create a different look for New Mexico. Here's Akale. You see Bailey, bottom of your screen, he's making that run ahead. He's in a completely different position than when this game started. On it now, Zico Bailey.
Just trying to go man for man and really match up what the Riverhounds have continuously done this season, as they elect to go with wingbacks, but Zico Bailey's going to play that role a little bit different. He's going to have the freedom just to go as he sees fit. And then Dennis Sanchez mostly has the principles, not married to a tactic that he wants for his side.
See the idea of formulating that 1-2. Dangerous ball back for Shebang. Won by Williams, floats it over the top. And headed all the way back to Tabakis. Another moment there where a better ball from Williams, maybe Mertz is in.
Just seems to lack composure, Augie Williams. You need to take that first touch and either play the ball into the path of Robbie Mertz or go yourself and engage the defender, then you play it into him. It's those little minute details that continue to lack for Augie Williams through the first 43 minutes here.
Pressure from Williams. Williams brought down. Well, Maples, another stern warning. Rodrigo Albuquerque's not yet gotten to his pocket in this one.
Talked about the opportunistic nature of Augie Williams. If you are a center back, you need to be very keen, and you cannot take long on the ball because, boom, Augie Williams is going to be right there in a matter of seconds.
Well, the last free kick was brilliantly worked. Ended up off the post. they have up their sleeve this time as Robbie Mertz once again takes charge of it. Pittsburgh out shooting New Mexico 10-3. They've hit the post twice. Mertz goes short, gets it back. Kale defending. Mertz hesitating. Biasi now delivering toward that back post. Glanced away by Fernando. At the moment, unofficially told there will be no stoppage time here in this first half, and what has been a pretty straightforward first half. Good bit of play between these two teams. I'll say it's different than what my expectations were coming in. I think you and I formulate some sort of, I guess, picture for the game we have in our mind, and I think that picture was very much New Mexico controlling things with Pittsburgh sitting back. That's certainly been the case in terms of possession, but Pittsburgh have been really good when they've had the ball at attacking quickly, making something of it. 10 shots, 1.08 expected goals in this first half of the Riverhounds, but we will head to the break scoreless in Pittsburgh.
It's been a profound half of soccer for the Riverhounds. They've been more aggressive, they've been more threatening, and playing really vertical into Augie Williams. And for Dennis Sanchez, you're seeing a lot of the ball, but now it's what we always hear. You need possession with the purpose. You need to show a little bit more teeth in the final third.
These two teams battling for the first time this season, a measuring stick game for both. More so for Pittsburgh, going up against the first place team in the Western Conference. They're passing that test so far. Goalless through 45 minutes here on Independence Day. It's the Riverhounds and New Mexico. Walking a good one at Highmark Stadium. The 84 Lumber halftime show is on the way. We'll take a deep dive into one of Pittsburgh's Academy players.
The build. What is it that drives us to follow our dreams, to build them from scratch, from the heart? For us, it's the same ideals of hard work, craftsmanship, and unity that define our great nation. It begins with trusting in yourself and having a team behind you that believes any dream is possible, and that every project is a vision of what can be, of who you are, and the future that you continue to build. From our family to yours, 84 Lumber, where quality and pride come together, one dream at a time.
A winner in Pittsburgh!
At AHN, good heart care starts before you're just not feeling right. Before you say, it'll go away on its own. Before it doesn't. Because before an emergency, there's time to stop heart problems with a simple preventative heart check. At AHN, we see you.
You're natural.
Let's make this more interesting. Winner gets...
the new 100 times the cash scratch off with top prizes of 100 grand.
Oh, it's on.
Just you wait till next time.
Rematch next week?
Let's play it by ear. Keep on scratching.
At the break here in Pittsburgh, halftime brought to you by 84 Lumber. One of the good things that these Riverhounds have been doing over the years is starting to produce players up from their academy. Pablo Linzowine, the latest in that line of players.
It was one of the obvious ones in terms of giving him an opportunity at the pro level.
Number 70, Pablo Linzowine.
He had a lot of good foundation in his play.
Signed an academy deal last year in May, third from the Riverhounds Academy to jump into the first team, 18 years old now.
My name is Pablo Linzowine. I play for the 2006-2007 Riverhounds ECNL team and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds first team. Kevin Kerr always pushed me to do my best in training, always being on top of me about just everything, and he always pushed me with the first team. I started training with the first team my freshman year, and that was a big eye-opener for me because I realized, like, wow, like this is what the professional level is like.
Yeah, it's always a big decision to give somebody their debut, especially an academy player. We felt that he had earned it. It was a reward for the work that he'd put in.
At 45 still to go here in Pittsburgh, their firework night, the tradition that once was, back again, hoping to give their fans something more to cheer about. Second half on the way.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan off it. Take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
The back off the goal kick, Williams!
And Molina in the box, keeper's out, he scores!
Take a loan off it. Take a loan for free.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
July 12th at Highmark Stadium. It is the event of the summer at the premier venue. We have live championship caliber boxing, entertainment, all hosted by the official pregame DJ of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You cannot miss it.
Welcome back into the 84 Lumber halftime show. 0-0 between Pittsburgh and New Mexico. Very eventful first half as we get things going on this Friday night in the USL Championship. More games to follow. Let's take a look at the score. USL Championship, they announced a long-term extension of their headquarters, formerly the Oakland Raiders facilities, now the Oakland Roots. It's one of the best facilities in USL
Just
Championship.
continues to push the standard in USL Championship and what it means. And to be a true professional club and just giving the state-of-the-art opportunities to every single one of those players. And you look at Albert Digua and Charlie Dennis both scoring hat tricks in the Jägermeister Cup. Two players extremely talented.
Another one extremely talented, Jeremy Kelly. And as if the Charleston Battery needed any more talent on the way, they get more talent on the way. That signed just this past week, multi-year deal from Crawley Town. This is the time of the year that we see those signings pop up around USL Championship and how they impact the stretch run to the postseason. It's a big one for both these teams as we're set to go into half number 2. Pittsburgh and New Mexico scoreless through 45.
Ain't no better feeling than a cold one in my hand. That's why I'll be keeping Iron City in my plans. Oh, everywhere I roam, I'll be thinking about my home. Sitting pouring on the iron right before I go to rest. And when I'm laying in my bed, there's only one thing in my head. Just an ice cold can of Pittsburgh, PA's best.
USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Halftime highlights brought to you by 84 Lumber. Most of these you'll see on the one end of the field for the Riverhounds. 10 shots, twice they hit the post.
Set piece is really important for the Riverhounds. Fantastic ball in from Robbie Mertz, and as Super comes across, does everything right, just gets denied by that near post, and as it pops out, Danny Griffin unable to swipe down on the ball to keep it underneath the crossbar. In the 24th minute, another really good ball from Luke Bialsi. Augie Williams splits the center back. He just needs to continue his run as he tries to lunge at it. He loses his balance and unable to make good contact with the ball. Another really good opportunity. Going back the other way for New Mexico, just a little bit heavy from Rivas, and that has been a point of emphasis for Dennis Sanchez. Needs to be cleaner in terms of your chance creation and your ruthlessness to be clinical.
They had all sorts of possession in that half, New Mexico, but they didn't do a lot with it. Pittsburgh, though, really creative on this free kick. Almost, again, that's the key in that first half. Almost, twice they hit the post, right on the brink of a couple of chances, but could not find the net when all was said and done. 10 shots to 3, 3 on target to 2. Possession heavily New Mexico's way, but Pittsburgh, by far, the more dangerous of the two sides.
The more threatening side of the two sides. So for Bob Lilla, you need to be pleased with how aggressive your side has approached this game mentally and how physically dominant you guys have been, efficiently getting into that final third. But you just need to continue on, because it's just a matter of moments now when Augie Williams will start to find his form. For Dennis Sanchez, you need to get more teeth in that final third and be a little bit more tenacious with Fernando Rivas, Vargas, and Akale.
Well, that was a big thing that he said to us in our conversation this week, Dennis Sanchez. There's really not much right now that is going wrong for New Mexico. Every stat bears that out. They're at the top or near the top in just about every key category, but it's a matter of being consistent. It's a matter of fine-tuning things. And the thing that really stuck out is that he wants his team to have a bit more of a swagger in some games. He said they had it a bit in that win recently against San Antonio, but he wants them to start carrying themselves like they're the top team in the conference, as they are right now in first place in the West. They lack that bite and that punch in the first half.
So that front four need to express themselves, take chances, take risk, and that is exactly what Dennis Sanchez is going to be. It's going to be the message to those attacking players. Once you are 1v1, go at them, take shots, put pressure on the opposing back line and Eric Dick, and really test this Riverhounds back line.
Second half gets interesting. Will New Mexico at some point say, all right, we're okay with a point on the road against these Riverhounds, or do they stick to their ethos, which is we don't care where we're playing or who we're playing against, we want to be the protagonists? All things that you have to weigh as the game gets deeper and deeper. Situational football on the road against a Riverhounds team that wants to defend their home field, where they've been terrific this season at 4-1. The chess match starts coming into play between Dennis Sanchez and Bob Lilly. New Mexico left to right in their gray and black camo. Pittsburgh right to left in the white. As the sun continues to set here at Highmark Stadium, it'll be in the eyes of Eric Dick for much of this half. It was a problem for Alex Tambakis. Stadium, glad to have you with us still on CBS Sports Golasso Network with MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Edge of the area here. Augie Williams barreling through. A bit of a shocker there not to bring it back for the advantage. It seemed that it never really fell for Augie Williams, and a free kick right there, edge of the area, is something Pittsburgh no doubt would have wanted.
Good recognition here from Biasi to come centrally, and this is the foul. You need to call this back, as Rodrigo Albuquerque is electing to play advantage, but a shocker that he does not blow the whistle there.
It didn't fall for Augie Williams. It seemed like it was about to, but never in a position where he had it controlled or was able to get a dangerous shot on Tabakis. Now this free kick given Pittsburgh's way from much further out. See what they have cooked up this time.
Not the initial ball that can really hurt teams with the secondary action. So again, expect Robbie Mertz to lift this ball to that far post area to knock it down for a teammate.
Mertz. Offside flag comes up. Ends that threat before it begins in the box. Set pieces were a big theme of that first half. Pittsburgh had 5 corners, a couple of free kicks in and around the 18 as well. New Mexico have begun this second half the way they ended the first formationally. Zico Bailey further up into the midfield. Jabang stepping back as an additional center back. And with that, Will Seymour was on it there briefly. Pops out wide to the left side, where Zico Bailey initially started. Lindsay. For Akale, flag stays down. Kwele Akale tricky with it at his feet. Akale going side to side, still with it. Feeds it in behind, looking for Jalen Lindsay. Luke Biasi clearing.
He's had himself a really good game, Luke Biasi, on both sides of the ball. As Akale comes century, he understands he's looking for the secondary run from Lindsay. Luke Biasi gets the right body position. Really good defensive effort there.
Biasi's become one of those set it and forget it reliable starters for Bob Lilly. Second year now in that sort of role for the Riverhounds. Been with the club since back in 2022. It's sort of been the way Bob Lilly and these Riverhounds have operated. There's a few guys that you can look at as through lines over the last couple of years that are always there, always on the roster. And then it's a lot of change around those few key pieces. That core helps implement everything else to the new faces with Bob Lilly, but it takes time. That's why the second half of the season's been so kind to them. And why they've typically started slow.
Got Luke Biasi, Danny Griffin, Robbie Mertz, Eric Dick, the spine of this Riverhound side, and then you have a player like a Jackson Walter who come in, probably not a high marquee signing, but has done a great job at making himself extremely valuable for Bob Lilly on how he wants that position to be played on both sides of the ball, forming a nice relationship with Danny Griffin.
Team that won the Players' Shield 2 years ago. First place in all of USL Championship, the Riverhounds. That year, though, upset in the playoffs. The first round, here's Robbie Mertz laying it off. Barnes going back post, looking for Augie Williams. Might have gotten it to him. If not for Tabaki's getting a piece of it. Nice turn by Danny Griffin, battling end line, out for another corner.
Fantastic recognition here for Robbie Mertz just to come century. Now he has the ability to win second duels and really play in Barnes here. Bach is doing a good job at just commanding his 6-yard box and pushing it wide. Bob Lilly giving our fourth referee an earful, asking for a foul. Nothing in that whatsoever.
Another Cohen Markets corner kick for the Riverhounds. 5 of those in the first half. This one dropped in. Jabang clears. Williams. Hold up the play, but nothing there for the Riverhounds. New Mexico sitting in first in the West, trying to build on their cushion here in this one. In the live standings, 3 points better than El Paso. This was New Mexico's game in hand. So if this turns into a win, they would go a full 5 points clear of El Paso. A nice cushion they'd have in the West. Split through. Good defensive play. Jabang, brought in on loan last year by Vegas. Dennis Sanchez in July on that loan made him a starter right away. Instrumental in Vegas's run to the Western Conference Final. Jumped at the chance to bring him here this year. Wide to Perrin Barnes. We'll skip by. Stay proud and sporty with Riverhounds gear. Whether you're hitting the game or going out, show your team spirit with exclusive merchandise and all your favorites at the merch booth or shop online at riverhounds.com. Pittsburgh's probably okay with this. This is what the theme has been today. New Mexico, a lot of their possession has been in this portion of the field.
Just no real vertical threat for this New Mexico side, because every single one of their players is just so comfortable with the ball at their feet, so their tendency is they want to come and drop a little bit deeper. So if you do have someone that can run in behind, number one, you put some more pressure on the Riverhounds back line and pin them back, but you also can allow the players essentially a little bit more time and space to pick up their head.
Battle in the midfield. It's up. Won by New Mexico. Sergio Rivas going toe-to-toe with Jackson Walty there. Now through for Luis Fernando. Recovered by Edrach. Another one of those players who brought in by these Riverhounds. Bob Lilly turning to as a trusted starter, making his 11th Start of the season, already a hero among these fans. He had the winner late on against NYCFC in Open Cup.
About the third time in this second half that he's done a really good job at just coming across. That Super's getting pulled out of position. Udrash is just dropping in and providing some coverage and denying two really good goal-scoring opportunities for New Mexico.
Albuquerque plays advantage. Akale, he's brought down from behind. Penalty or free kick? What color card? All questions to answer. It's a yellow for Biasi, but New Mexico wants a penalty here. It was right on the edge of that area. Question of whether or not he fell into the box, Akale, or he was already on the line. It's setting up for a free kick unless the referee has a word with the assistant. I think it's the right call from that angle.
As Biasi gets caught a little bit too wide, clearly outside the 18-yard box. But very silly mistake here for Luke Biasi. First, in terms of his positioning, you need to stay a little bit more compact and connected to Vactor to not allow that pocket of space. And no need to leave your feet, because you have help providing coverage, right, coming across and rotating. Pick up a yellow card in the end, I think, is the right decision from Rodrigo Albuquerque, and clearly outside the 18-yard box, about a yard out. Good opportunity here for New Mexico.
Good opportunity, but a little bit tight. Difficult from this close in to get it up and over the wall, and then still under the bar. Akale and Vargas both thinking about it. Sun still streaming into the eyes of Eric Dick. Does Vargas think he can get it up and over the wall, or does Akale try to go far post and beat Eric Dick for pace? It is Akale getting it almost up and over. Dick just touched it over the bar. Don't know if he needed to, but not taking any chances there. Corner for New Mexico.
Yeah, redid the whole way here, Eric Dick. Fantastic goalkeeping, because you do not want to get caught cheating. But once he sees the run-up of Akale, he's already taking a step to his left-hand side. Not taking any sort of chances, just to push it up over his crossbar.
Cone Markets corner. Akale sets it up. It's been a better couple of minutes for New Mexico. You knew at some point they would find their stride in the attack. Just a matter of when, and can they convert when that spell came. They're in the midst of it now. Still a conversation ongoing in the box. You know, referee Rodrigo Albuquerque and a couple of players pushing and shoving. Still Luis Fernando and Luke Biasi going at it. Akale goes short. Overlap, gets it from Vargas. Akale, Bailey. Back in for Akale. That's one they will either throw out of the playbook or rework in training this week. Jabang glanced on. Seymour took a deflection toward the back post, ends up on top of the netting. Awkward bounce there. Off the redirects. Eric Dick was worried. Out for another corner.
Give credit to Jabang, does just enough to keep this play alive. Seymour picks up his head because he sees there's a numerical overload at this far post. Nearly catches Eric Dick off of his line off of a wicked deflection.
Cohen Markets corner for New Mexico. Vargas, dangerous ball. Dick has it. Wants to go quickly.
Really good decision here from Eric Dick. Just to understand the momentum of this game. Good run.
Augie Williams, flag stayed down, looking for support. Never really had it, but does well.
Just the timing of Augie Williams' runs. It's been really impressive. Ability to understand when to release, when to loop his run to keep himself on side. Just a really clever runner off the ball, Augie Williams is.
Spins out for a throw instead of a corner. Factor. Walty. Biasi. Delivered. Williams settles. Lays it off. Mertz deflected. Still loose for Walty. And out for a corner. Good presence of mind there from Augie Williams to lay off Mertz.
Better composure from the striker. Clean first touch and understanding that you have a teammate in a better body position and a better angle. All Robbie Mertz is just trying to do is run onto it and shape it towards that far post. New Mexico doing a good job at just closing down that window at the last second.
Low line drive from the corner. Target the near post just about every time, Pittsburgh. Flag stays down. Mertz keeps it going. Mertz toward that back post. Williams tracking it and out for a goal kick. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. The Academy to the big league. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Nearing the hour mark. And we get to see that Select ball enter either net. Scoreless between Pittsburgh and New Mexico. Happy to have you with us on CBS Sports Golasso Network. And a happy 4th to all of you at home.
Just becoming a little bit more sloppy now. This New Mexico side, when trying to build out of the back, don't have enough numbers deeper to open up passing lanes to break lines. Zalum just trying to force this ball into Rivas.
With locations in Wexford and Bridgeville. Visit them at kingorthodontics.com.
Traditional 4th of July game back for the Riverhounds after it took a 6-year hiatus. Last time they played this game at home was in 2019. After 7 straight years of it, hoping this can become a tradition again. It was a number of things that went into it. COVID season, middle of the week games, 4th falling on Tuesday, Thursday. Calendar lines up nicely. Friday this year, Saturday next year, Sunday the year after. Seems like there should be no excuse for not at least 3 straight years of this traditional 4th of July game for the Riverhounds. Though I don't make the schedule, so I can't promise that. I feel like Tuesday's a tough day to make it work. I feel like you could stretch a weekend and have a game on Monday night, but as a player, you'd probably not love a Tuesday game.
You're always ready as a player.
Okay.
Every single time
okay.
that you can get on the field, you're going to take it.
Yeah,
less training.
I'm sure you were a coach's dream.
Means less training.
Can-do
More
attitude.
game time? Of course.
That's because you don't want to run in practice.
You don't want to run the game either.
Luis Fernando on a nice run here, feeding it through. Lindsay. Looking for Akale, more active in this second half. Makwele Akale. I think the balance of power in terms of the chances and the attack shifted Pittsburgh's way in the first half. And if a goal was to be had in that first half, you expected it to be Pittsburgh. Almost feels the opposite in this second half. Flag stays down, though, this time on Augie Williams. Going for a goal off the post. Oh, it's the 3rd time that Pittsburgh have hit the post in this one. Seemed like he was offside. New Mexico might have let their guard down. From our vantage point, he was a good 4 or 5 yards offside. Augie Williams.
Clearly offside, bottom of your screen, about a yard or 2, or even 3 off the shoulder of Jabang. Does a good job at pushing the tempo and tries to find that far post. It's the 3rd time that the Riverhounds have been denied by the post, but that is a clear offside.
Seymour. Just give and go. Seymour end line. Take a touch. It did. It's good hustle from Seymour to earn a corner out of this for New Mexico on what was otherwise a lost play.
He's been given a different role under Dennis Sanchez. When he pops onto the left-hand side, now he has a responsibility to play on both sides of the ball and be really aggressive within his positioning, but also the extra effort to win a corner kick for his side. Good work from Seymour.
A little sliver of sunshine still down in that corner. As Marlon Vargas sets up for another Cohen Markets corner kick. Vargas, good serving, but Eric Dick, brave goalkeeping coming through each time.
Eric Dick's done a good job of just commanding his 6-yard box. Obviously the physical presence, but secure hands to come off of his line and not allowing any sort of spillage.
Three posts officially hit in this game for Pittsburgh. No goals to show for it, though the third post they hit. We'll give you a look at it again momentarily to show you how far off Augie Williams was. Probably shouldn't have counted, but still, no VAR. You just say thank you if that moment comes. Williams pressuring Tabakis. Biasi. Dangerous ball across. Good step though by Vactor. Mertz. And it's Jackson Walty. Biasi tucking in. Mertz out wide. Walty switching. Aaron Barnes keeps it in play on the first bounce, but not the second. Here's a look again. Watch when the ball comes off the head here. There's about 5 yards of separation there. That's unless the referee didn't think it took a touch, but it seemed like there was a glance on. In any event, could have turned into a goal. Ends up off the post.
But even if there was no touch, when Robbie Mertz clears his line, Augie Williams is about 2 yards. Should have been whistled immediately from our AR.
At that point, it was closer, but still off. Point now where you expect these coaches to dip into their benches. Riverhounds fans, join us for the next home game Sunday, July 13th. It's against Loudoun United on Robbie Mertz Bobblehead Night, presented by Tri-State Office Furniture. Get your tickets at riverhounds.com. Their attack brewing, looking for Mertz, the real Mertz, not the imposter bobblehead. Ends up just a step away as Tabakis has it gathered.
Good idea from Oz just to slash it across that near post, but just needs to pull it a little bit farther away from Tabakis to not allow him to collect this ball, because Robbie Mertz makes a great run from a deep line position.
Almost slipped through by Rivas. Kind of want the bobblehead now, by the way. I'm excited for next week.
You're getting one?
I would like to. What do I got to ask? Robbie Mertz. I mean, he can make that happen himself, but I thought he was fouled here. It seemed like clean defending. And what has been a very good physical game between these teams. We still have only seen one yellow card. Maybe that's what Bob Lilly is arguing here. He feels that the reins should be tightened a little bit on this game, but the referee has been consistent both ways.
Initially, there's nothing in this from Jabang. Robbie Mertz is trying to create this contact and trying to create a foul as he just backs up and goes down far too easily. It's a good no call from Rodrigo Albuquerque.
Still love that, by the way. Albuquerque refereeing a New Mexico game. I'm not over it. We need him to do a game at the lab again. If it hasn't happened, and it might. I didn't have the referee log in front of me before this game, but if you're listening, USL and Pro and whoever is in charge of that, Rodrigo Albuquerque in Albuquerque for New Mexico home game. Make it happen.
So we need to talk to Pro. Like who decides these referee assignments, and we need to make that happen.
Just over 20 remaining.
Just see the positioning from Rivas a little bit deeper in this second half, and what Dennis Sanchez is trying to do as he implements is just pull more numbers out of position for the Riverhounds.
Dangerous ball at the back. Foul called against Pittsburgh. They're playing with fire at times in this build-up, New Mexico.
Just tells you about the confidence that Dennis Sanchez has within his side. But in doing that, at dropping so much players deeper, you need to be clean, because if you do give the ball over cheaply, it can be lethal. So decision-making and technical ability for New Mexico when building out of the back will be crucial.
Akale, dangerous ball over the top here. Dick tracking it, barrels himself through. Ball comes out of the box, can't pick it up, just has to clear. Innovative goalkeeping there from Eric Dick. Did enough to keep it away.
Got that presence of mind from Eric Dick. As he comes over the top of Vargas, drops the ball, clears it with his foot. Great goalkeeping, great heads-up play.
Biasi. Williams. Like stays down for Augie Williams. Delivering it toward that back post, but nobody making that run. Does curl and stay in. Big shove there from Seymour. Extended the arm a bit too much. Charles All brought down. Free kick coming for Pittsburgh. He felt initially it was shoulder to shoulder, Seymour, but I think he got a little bit too much extension on that last bit of a shove.
Just no need here for Seymour, just trying to prove a point now. Does a good job initially to bump off all, but when you do create that little bit of separation, you just need to clear your lines right now. Get your foot around it, and the extension of the right arm, right in front of our AR, clear foul. Just a little bit silly in terms of the decision making there from Seymour.
Another set piece here for Pittsburgh. They're preparing 3 changes as well. Berton Jacquesin, Bradley Sample, Junior Etu all ready to come in for Pittsburgh. First the free kick. Augie Williams is waiting for it, never got through. He had it lined up for a side volley. Another ball played in, headed square. Suber was there, and out for a goal kick. So it'll be Berton Jacquesin for Charles All, Bradley Sample for Jackson Walty, Junior Etu for Luke Biasi. A trio of changes here for the Riverhounds.
The understanding between Jacquesin and Augie Williams needs to start to figure things out for Bob Lilly, because 2 players that, if they do get on the same page, can complement each other extremely well. Both ruthless finishers and very good with the ball at their feet. Jacquesin scored a great goal last time out when they played against Westchester in the Jägermeister Cup. So he's going to be full of confidence. And then you have Junior Etu coming in at his left wing back role. Expect quality in terms of his service, but also the ability to drop down and double down defensively.
Etu had the assist on that goal you're mentioning from Jacquesin against Westchester in the Jägermeister Cup. Jacquesin hasn't quite recaptured last year's form after he joined in September. Down the stretch, had 5 goals and 7 starts for the Riverhounds. Given away again at the back by New Mexico. Griffin, Augie Williams saved, loose in front, put home! Robbie Mertz pounces to the loose ball. Riverhounds go on top.
just inviting too much pressure in New Mexico. Understanding, yes, you want to be a ball-oriented team and possess out of the back, but this takes too long. We're telling Maples to make a decision. It's a hospital ball into Zalolum, and as the ball comes out, you talk about the composure and the presence of mind from Robbie Mertz. About 7 yards out to take his first touch, which opens up a window. You can go near post, you can go far post, and first of all, the movement to continue with the play, arrive on top of that 6-yard box, and just smash it home off to the corner, and it's a great goal for Robbie Mertz to give the Riverhounds a lead.
The Pittsburgh boy gets it done again for his team. Goal brought to you by Cohen Markets. 3 on the season for Robbie Mertz. It matches last year's total. He's never really been a goal scorer, always involved in the attack, usually the distributor, not necessarily the scorer, but it's really been by committee for Pittsburgh, and that's, again, one of the things that Bob Lilly laments. You're in another position today to get a win, whether it's 1-0, whether it's 2-1, whatever it is, a win's a win. Still looking to finish more chances, create more chances, waiting for somebody to really assert himself as a goal scorer. In the meantime, piece it together any way you can. It's Mertz helping out today.
Just have that killing mentality for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. You do all the hard work to go up a goal, so now can you close that door and try to win this, try to score that second goal to put this game away.
Pittsburgh looking for more. New Mexico made 2 changes during the celebration. We'll get you that in a moment. Etu, end line, feeding in front. Tomas Amang and Mackenzie Gaines came on while the celebrations were going on. Marlon Vargas, Makwele Akale both came off. Pittsburgh seems like they can sense more. Jacqueson going for it, had it blocked.
Attacking-minded subs for it. Dennis Sanchez, as Gaines is going to give you the ability to stretch the back line among an out-and-out striker, so his relationship off of Fernando can be lethal for New Mexico as they try to claw themselves back into this game, and he'll be the lone striker. Fernando will run off for the wide parts of this field.
Well, this home 4th of July game was always a success for the Riverhounds while it existed for those 7 years. 4-2-1 the record in that 4th of July home game. Tradition reignited this year. They're on top, as you saw there. 5 wins this season when scoring first. Really good team in terms of playing from ahead and locking things down defensively. New Mexico have not been able to battle from behind and pick up any points this season when conceding first. 0-2. Zico Bailey. Shots to 5 in favor of the Riverhounds, and that is with a minuscule portion of the possession compared to New Mexico. Jacqueson got it caught up as he went for the scissor.
Almost tripped on a shoelace there, Jacqueson. It's a good action, just need to be a little bit cleaner.
Luis Fernando. Jabang stepping up. .37-33 the possession for New Mexico, being outshot 16-5. Pittsburgh have the goal. They've also hit 3 posts in this game. A deserved lead. And Dick has it. Can't watch the match. Start on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. That includes USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus live matches from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157. Sure, in the coming weeks on All Access, we're getting into that time where we'll have a lot of talks about contenders and pretenders, about mid-season awards. think this Pittsburgh team might be a contender. Starting to hit their stride. Jockeson settling. Cuts it back, looking for Williams. Settled by Griffin. Volleyed, blocked. Sample on the turn. Couldn't quite sneak it through for Etu. Lindsay. Tico Bailey. Nice move by Lindsay.
So comfortable in tight spaces. This New Mexico side, now they go out the other way. Great work from Dennis Sanchez and company. Good step.
Well won by Perrin Barnes. Continues to provide solidity in that right wing back position for Pittsburgh. Depth is key for Pittsburgh. They maybe don't have the numbers in terms of the roster size as some other teams, but a lot of reliability within the ranks. Just like this man who came on and now draws the foul. Junior Etu, and chatting with Bob Lilly, he's starting to feel like there's 16 or 17 guys he could trust to be starters at any given moment. Of course, the 11 he had out there today, and then beyond that, Bradley Sample, Junior Etu, Burton Jockeson, all these guys are guys who have been starters at times, and he trusts to be starters for the group.
At riverhounds.com/tickets.
Just the quality on the roster for Bob Lilly. You look at Bradley Sample's been able to bring in return of Jackson Walty, two players that are very similar in terms of their characteristic, but play the position a bit differently. We've seen Sample make those darting runs, and in doing that, Danny Griffin actually alters his playing style. With Walty, he's more aggressive. With Sample, a little bit more at home. So you have different looks within your game model for Bob Lilly. And you can bring in Jockeson, you can put in Augie Williams if you want a bit of a different number 9. So yes, you talk about the talent and the depth of the roster, but also the flexibility within the profile of the player that Bob Lilly can bring on. Exquisite.
Lindsay sneaks it through. Fernando and line looking across. Dick got a piece of it. Zico Bailey works it back. Here's Mackenzie Gaines. Williams on a run. Tabakis alert. Oh, is it in the river? No. Looked good off the foot. Really ran out of steam. I thought he was just clearing that one for safety's sake.
They have a person that goes and retrieves the ball in the river?
I really don't know. It's something we probably at this point should have asked. They have a river counter as far as how many each year they lose to the river.
Do you have that number?
I don't. I was hoping at some point it went out today because they always flash it on the board. And last week, you and I had them. We did not lose a ball to the river, so I did not see. And yeah, I got to pay up.
Still waiting for dinner.
Go fish it out of the river. That's your dinner. I would imagine no. I mean, unless you could get to the end of the river in a boat pretty quickly. Once that thing is gone, it's gone. Either that or you try and flag down one of those boats you see there in the background and see if somebody could be a good Samaritan.
Maybe they just have someone on a jet ski, right? Doctor on the side.
That would be a heck of a job to have.
It'd be an awesome job. Sign me up.
Designated river bowl retriever.
You see tomorrow, the Riverhounds on LinkedIn. New job from.
Well, the big job right now at Hanford, New Mexico is finding an equalizer. 3 shots on target in this one. They haven't really been too threatening for Eric Dick. 3 shots on target in number only. Hasn't really felt like a moment where he's scrambled or really had to go above and beyond. Bailey Gaines. Work it back through for Bailey. It was closed down. Gaines now. Talalum. Tomas Pondeca and Chris Gloucester. The next two set to come on for New Mexico. Told it'll be for Sergio Rivas and Will Seymour. Pittsburgh preparing a change now as well. Told it'll be Robbie Mertz coming off for Max Broughton. Getting an extra center back out there. Try and close this game down once and for all with 6 plus stoppage remaining. It's deflected. And out for a New Mexico corner. Curled in by Bailey. Over everybody to take a touch. New Mexico claiming it did, and they win that claim.
Need to put a body here on Eric Dick if you are New Mexico, just to impede his run a tiny bit and have a lot of traffic right in front of that goal mouth.
Luis Fernando, dangerous ball in.
Eric Dick's done a good job at stepping off of his line, but the box defending as well for the Riverhounds has been fantastic.
Talalum looking back post. Looked like Perrin Barnes got a piece of it. He did. Another corner on the way. Those subs still waiting for both sides. Gloucester and Pondeca for New Mexico. Max Broughton for Pittsburgh. Surprised that Pittsburgh haven't tried to get this substitution in. I know it's always difficult to substitute on a defensive set piece, but they're bringing on Max Broughton for Robbie Mertz. You're bringing on a center back who's terrific in the air defensively for an attacking player. So you would think they'd like to, if they could, get this sub in now. Deciding to hold off.
Tonight's attendance is a sellout.
Sellout announced here. On firework night at Highmark Stadium, these fans would love to celebrate it with a win more than anything else.
This is the 10th largest crowd in Highmark Stadium history.
And there you hear it announced over the PA, 10th largest crowd in stadium history. Yellows doled out. Luis Fernando and Perrin Barnes each get one. Short from the corner, Gaines. Now floated in. Oh, just all wrong on the header from Tomas Amang. Tried to snap that head back, but took his eye off of it. Headed it the wrong direction entirely.
It is a free header from Amang here, about 10 yards out. Just mistimes his jump, unable to time the ball correctly to generate enough power. What a good ball in, a good opportunity that was for the sub for New Mexico.
New Mexico changed their mind. It was supposed to be for Sergio Rivas, that Tomas Pondeca sub. They'll keep Rivas out there and take Zico Bailey off instead. Still is Gloucester on, Seymour off as the other change. And here is Max Broughton coming on for Robbie Mertz, the difference maker now. Had the lone goal in this one back in the 73rd minute.
Robbie Mertz is just a special play for the Riverhounds. Bottom of your screen, notice how he just continues with the play to stick with it. And then the presence of mind not to take this first touch to send Pambakis down to the ground. And now that opens up the window, simply just guides it in. Great shift from Robbie Mertz.
Oh, we do have an update. There have been, you ask and you receive, Ricky. There have been 7 balls this season into the river. 7. So yeah, maybe you do have to find that
That's
ad
lot
for a
of
jet ski.
select the player choices balls.
Maybe it's a quid pro quo. You get somebody to be your jet ski retriever, and they get free tickets the rest of the season. That's a lot of balls. 7 lost to the River, and we're not even halfway through the season. And mind you, this is a stretch of 6 out of 7 home games coming up.
You think we get to 10?
Oh, absolutely. In this stretch, easily. I mean, for their sake, I hope not. But just over a minute remaining plus stoppage. Sample.
Did it?
Oh, it might have. It did. 8. There you go. Ask and you shall receive twice tonight, Ricky. Well, I wonder if they have the River Ball on eFootball. Live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. No threat of losing a ball to the River.
How good has Barnes been for the Riverhounds? The ability to be 1v1 on the ball and always a threat to provide quality going forward, but off the ball as well, to drop down and make that line of 5. He's been a fantastic signing in addition to Bob Lilly.
Only 2 minutes of stoppage tacked on. We had no stoppage time in the first half, and they were going to change this to 3 after that little stoppage there. But that just gives you a sense of how smooth this game has gone and how much the ball has been in play for these two sides. A combined 3 minutes of stoppage time between the first and second half in this one. It has been non-stop action through the 90 so far.
Just a little bit of the sample size of the quality that we've seen through the first 91 minutes here. Really good game of football.
Loose in front here. Headed away by Broughton. Not far enough from Vactor.
Good touch.
For Pittsburgh, it could be a 4th win in 5 games here in the regular season. New Mexico, just their 5th loss of the year, it would be. Some of those came early. The last loss came back on June 14th against the then last place Lexington side. Luis Fernando. Is there a chance in this for New Mexico? Zalalem. Off the backside of Williams. 2 more minutes to see through here for Pittsburgh. Striding ahead, Mackenzie Gaines still with it. Gaines goes for goal. And it's into the crowd. Just the start of a busy weekend here in the USL Championship. Catch it all on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Later tonight, it is Louisville and Colorado Springs, 9 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. And then Sunday, Charleston Battery against North Carolina on CBS Sports Network. Those are your upcoming games. 2 weeks from now, you and I will have this Pittsburgh team against Detroit City on ESPN2.
Big test for Detroit City tomorrow night at Oakland. A different look for the Roots under Benny Feilhaber, more aggressive. That's going to be a really interesting game here on Golazo Network as well.
Pittsburgh will be ahead of that team. You just mentioned Detroit City in the standings. If this result holds, they'll sneak above into 5th. Detroit City down into 6th. 30 seconds to go. Pittsburgh could ice this with another or take it toward the corner and just run this one out. Aaron Barnes wisely opts for the latter. That's well done. Bob Lilly will applaud that. He'll sneak one more sub in here as well, Pittsburgh, just to slow things down even further. Augie Williams off, and Jason Borgi on.
Augie Williams. And taking his spot, number 20, Jason Borgi.
Another strong showing for Augie Williams in terms of hold-up play and support play, but another day where he doesn't have a goal to show for it. You know it's coming at some point. Just a matter of when. Robbie Mertz got the lone goal today, and might that be enough? 3 minutes of stoppage time have come and gone. Is there a last chance for New Mexico because of that last stoppage for the substitution? Gaines works it back. Rodrigo Albuquerque just glanced at his watch. Usman Jabang clipping it in. Dick came off his line initially, retreated. Pondeka tried to keep it alive. Sent long the other way. Whistle in the mouth of Rodrigo Albuquerque. Whistle coming any moment now. There it is. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds restart their 4th of July tradition with some fireworks and a 1-0 win over New Mexico United.
Great win for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and how professional they approached this game defensively to get a clean sheet against this high-flying New Mexico attacking unit, but also the way that they took their goals and continued to progress in between lines. Fantastic win for Bob Lilly and Company.
And tonight's man of the match is brought to you by Cohen Markets. It's the man who produced the lone goal in the win, Robbie Mertz.
You see the goal, you see what he does in the final third, but it's the work rate that really impresses me for Robbie Mertz. The ability to drop down and help out Danny Griffin and Walty and Bradley Sample. Robbie Mertz is a complete player for the Riverhounds.
Sellout crowd at Highmark Stadium, 10th largest crowd in stadium history. They get to celebrate all 3 points. We're back in a moment to wrap things up. Riverhounds take it 1-0 over to Mexico United.
July 12th at Highmark Stadium. It is the event of the summer at the premier venue. We have live championship caliber boxing, entertainment, all hosted by the official pregame DJ of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You cannot miss it.
Maybe haven't made it pretty at times in this stretch, but that's 4 wins out of 5. They're starting to hit their stride, as they typically do this time of year. Creeping up the standings now into 5th, a 1-0 win on a goal by Robbie Mertz. Take you back to the highlights of how it all went down. Ricky, a lot of this is going to be on the Pittsburgh side. They hit 3 posts in this game. They had plenty of chances before they finally found the goal.
Fantastic ball in from Robbie Mertz. Factor doing a good job at just getting goal side, but gets denied by that near post. And as this ball pops out, just notice the body position of Danny Griffin. Really difficult as you're leaning away to get enough height on your leg to swipe down on it. And that's why it goes up and over the crossbar. Great save here from Merrick Dick to deny McCauley that opening goal. And it will be our save of the match presented by Smoothie King. Rule of the day for the Riverhounds. Great save. Good ability to come across and no nonsense to push it up and over the crossbar.
And then the moment would finally come for Robbie Mertz in the 73rd minute.
Just too casual here from Taylor Maples. Allows Danny Griffin just to pick the pocket of the New Mexico back line. But this is all about the composure from Robbie Mertz to first take this near post to collect himself, send the goalkeeper to the ground, and just smash it home. You see what it means to give all 3 points to the Riverhounds.
And this is what it means. Championship. You can catch it on CBS Sports Network as our Independence Day celebrations continue with Louisville City visiting the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. As for us, that'll do it here this evening from Highmark Stadium. The Riverhounds take it 1-0 over New Mexico United. The crew that makes this possible, the broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long for now. Happy 4th, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the weekend of USL Championship action.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.